So my name is Claudia Comte. I'm a Swiss artist and I'm here to install my installation called I Have Grown Taller from Standing with Trees. The starting point was the space, meaning that I got the map of the plan of the space. And that from this, I created this grid, which is represented on the gigantic carpet that is laid down in the room. And this also represents the network through the forest, where the trees are able to communicate through the root system. This is the first time I'm using the floor so intensely. There is 45 trunks. A company of lumberjack came over from Switzerland to install that. There is the carpet company where we work together a lot because I had to provide the design, and every millimeter somehow matters, which seems a little bit crazy when you think about the whole space because it's so big. But in the end, that's the biggest challenge for this installation. Everything has to match from ceiling to floor. Yeah, that's why, for each of the installation I'm creating, I create a system that is proper to each of the installation. And so obviously what we are doing now, the whole installation, we are controlling. And then the public, the weather, these kind of things, this is beyond anyone control. And that's why I'm so curious to see what will happen now. So the process of selecting the trees to then create the 45 trunks that we have in the show was first to go in the forest a few months ago, while it was just beginning of winter, where the trees are really kind of sleepy, their blood is not getting in the trees like it is during spring. So it's the best time to cut trees. That's why the lumberjack have the most work during winter as well. And so we selected the one that are the most straight, also in an area obviously where they are not protected, and they have been already planted there about 100 years ago for the idea to be cut one day. And after cutting the trees, we went to the workshop and removed all the bark and then sent them down with the grinder to really reveal what's inside. I'm very into wood since my childhood because I grew up in a chalet in Switzerland next to the forest, and I'm surrounded by wood since always. Yeah, I really love this material because it's so warm and still so full of life. The trunks in the show will change drastically during the 7 months, meaning right now they are completely closed and very kind of pure. And at some point, some little crack will start to be formed on the surface because they will lose at least 50% of their humidity that is inside, so the water that is inside the trunks. And so I think it will be beautiful to see this transformation during the 7 months, to see all the cracks appearing, and the coloration will probably turn a little bit yellow, and people will be able to touch the surface, which will also produce some marks over time. I think it will be beautiful to see how the weather condition, clouds, sun, rain, can give a mood or different mood in the installation at the different moment of the day, or when it gets darker as well. And I love this because this is something I can obviously not control at all. And I'm very curious to see the transformation of the whole installation by the footing of the public as well, by the activation of the public. I would love the public to be really inspired by the whole installation, and I'm trying to point out at what we have already in the nature, in our surrounding, by revealing those trees and obviously by referring to sculpture. I love the contrast of the grid forming all those squares, tons of squares actually, that are put in contrast with or playing with the rings of the trunks, meaning the rings are obviously creating those gigantic circular shape that are the trunks. And I love to play with those two primary shape, right? The circle and the square. And what's interesting as well about the trees in general is that they are kind of a time capsule. Why? Because they have information inside them about the weather condition. It's so beautiful to understand that actually we are not inventing anything. Mathematics and geometry are in all of the things that exist already on Earth. That's why I think it's so interesting that as an artist, you generally try to create an harmony and a balance with sculpture, painting, colors, etc. And this is already all existing in nature creation. There is one very, very big ceramic in the center of the room. It's a 3-meter high ceramic made in one piece, which is really impressive for ceramic. And the ceramic is called the Queen of the Volcano, and it's here to kind of take care of the whole installation, like mother somehow. But mainly this is kind of the spirit of the installation, and it's meant to have been kind of created inside a volcano. So you think about fires and incredible forces from the nature that work together to create this one big piece. Yeah, it gives another dimension into this very minimal installation, something way more organic somehow. The original piece is this wood piece that I carved with the chainsaw and then sand down and made maybe about 50 centimeters high. And then I 3D scanned the piece, and I gave the scan to the ceramic company with whom I have been working with in Denmark, here in Tommerup. And we have built a whole structure around to reproduce the exact same shape that I had done, first of all, with the chainsaw by hand. So the very starting point of the shape is again with wood, which is important for the process. It's about learning from our surrounding, meaning nature, that is everywhere, and we are sometimes forgetting about that. And also that means that we are part of this, of the planet, of this whole ecosystem, that we are not from somewhere else, but definitely from here, and we have a role to play inside this ecosystem. And yeah, it's really about growing with and maybe somehow becoming more wise by understanding nature better.